Last year, I found this article, Top 50 Starlets to Watch at European U21 Championships. This article, I think, is like 7 years old. So I thought it'd be interesting to see what this guy thought would be the top players from this European Championships. For some reason, he has 50, which, you know, I guess a lot of people have ambitions. And realistically, the definition of starlets is a young actress with aspirations to become a star. That got me thinking, the Hollywood success rate of actors is 2%. So realistically, one of these guys, mathematically, would be stars. So we're gonna look through this list of top 50 names. We'll see if we recognize any names, or if we don't recognize any names, and see if they, are living up to any sort of deal they have. Final was Sweden versus Portugal, and Sweden with John Guidetti won the final 0-0. I'm sure John Guidetti will be on this list. I have no idea where the guy is now. Oh yeah, alright, Gareth Southgate was the manager of this England side too. I mean, we're gonna see some players we don't recognize in the top 50 list, I presume. Cristiano Baraghi, is he at Genoa? No, he's at Fiorentina now. Never played for Genoa. Thomas Callas. All people ever talk about him is his performance against Liverpool in 2014 that I'd rather not talk about. So yeah, he can piss off. João Mario, he ended up making a big move to Inter handful of years later. Things didn't really work out for him there, and I think he's at Benfica now, so made a bunch of sporting fans happy there. Jack Butland, OP in FIFA 17, was supposed to be a top English goalkeeper by now. Never really happened by the end. Here's your man, Liam. John Guidetti. Such a weird player. Obviously at the City Academy, very outspoken. Didn't want to play for Celtic after a year or something, I don't know. Outside of his time at Feyenoord, he wasn't really that prolific of a goal scorer. Yannick Vestergaard just signed for Leicester City. If we tabulate things as overrated, underrated, I think that's the first underrated one here with how they're doing right now. It's just crazy how many players just don't make it. Yeah, like, I feel like it's very hard to make a top 50 list of young players at a tournament where there's only like 8 teams. Each team has like a 23-man roster or something like that, or a squad. I feel like if we get to the top 20 and there's a bunch of players that don't make it, then yeah, your point is even more right. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. Even in streams I've done about the Guardians Wonder Kid lists, like, with so few amount of players make the top and even more just flat out fail. This is another underrated one. Ruben Neves, number 38 out of this top 50 list, which is kind of odd because I'm pretty sure before this, he was like really highly rated at Porto. Thiago Yori. I just remember this guy at Liverpool. Matthias Ginter at 36 is also pretty criminally low. Granted, from this guy's perspective, he did move to Dortmund at the time, which it turned out really badly for him. Now that he's at Gladbach and you look at hindsight, like, yeah, this guy is a solid defender. Maybe not reaching the potential he had earlier on in his career, but quite solid and good. Juricic, who pretty sure was at Benfica. Yeah, he's at Sassuolo. He's done all right for himself. Oh, wow, that is really low. John Stones at 34. And Andreas Christensen. Again, that is really low. I think he was at Gladbach at the time on loan, no? Maybe not. Okay, he just joined Gladbach. Probably after this tournament. So that's kind of understandable then, but still, yeah. When you look back on it, little low like John Stones. Sisto, is he back in Denmark? I thought this guy was going to become a dominant winger. Yeah, he's at Michelin now. So it never really worked out for him. Kevin Vollen at 31. I'm pretty sure he was pretty highly rated back at that time. He's 22 at the time of Hoffenheim. How he's doing now, he's really cemented himself into a solid striker. So 31 is quite low. They had Hergota above Volland. I mean, I guess there's not really that many wingers to compare. Baselli from Italy? This guy played for Torino. He had quite a bit of promise, not as much. I think that's a fair spot. This guy, I have no clue. Oh wait, Mitrovic? Is this the guy that played for Eibar and scored a penalty? Yeah, he's now bald. Hey man, if you're gonna lose your hair, you gotta get jacked. Zanelli. Yeah, a bunch of these Swedish guys, who made the final of the tournaments, didn't make it. He's now playing for Kosovo too. I mean, he's at Rams, which is all right. And then Helander. I mean, this guy was above John Stones. Danny Ings at 25. Yeah, he just made a move to Liverpool at the time. Unfortunately, got a ton of injuries, yet he's still a pretty good striker. And I'll hit with him at Aston Villa and scoring that bicycle kick. Crazy scenes. William Carvalho. They have Ruben Neves above him, although both actually play for mid-table clubs in their league. Luke Garbud. What an interesting choice. I mean, if this guy was this highly rated, I mean, I do remember him. I used him in Football Manager because he was cheap and I bought him with Bournemouth. But yeah, this guy did not develop into anything. I'm pretty sure Ancelotti forgot who this guy was. Everton manager Carlo Ancelotti confused when asked about the release of Luke Garbett. Interesting. Oh, at least he laughed it off. James Ward-Prowse, number 22. I mean, solid, but having Ruben Neves at like 42 or whatever it was. Yeah, Ruben Neves at 38, James Ward-Prowse at 22 is a little bit of a reach. Not a reach, but I don't see it the same way. I knew James Ward-Prowse was quite promising back then. Rafael Guerrero. I think he's still a quite underrated player, to be honest. Romagnoli, number 20. That's a little underrated as well. Okay, oh, he's at Roma at the time, though. I mean, I think soon after he did get bought to AC Milan. It's a shame because Romagnoli is a perfect player for Roma, but it is what it is. Andrea Bellotti. Very polarizing striker. I think he is a good striker, but he hasn't really shown it at the highest levels, which has people questioning things about him. I guess that's fair. Let's see, Emre Can. I think that's a fair spot. Storaro above guys like Emre Can, James Ward-Prowse, and even Ruben Neves. Different time frame, but Storaro, 17th top starlet for the 2015 Euro Championships before the tournament started. Interesting. And then you had this Cadlick guy who, name sounds familiar, but I'm pretty sure he turned into nothing. He retired. Oh, geez, he had knee problems. Jeez, that's unfortunate. Bernardo Silva, number 15. Depending who we see, I feel like this is a little low for him. Granted, it is 2015. I'm saying this multiple times though, but now we see him. Top player, man. Cataldi. Italian midfielders back in 2015 are just mid. He's at Lazio. Ter Stegen, number 13. Even at the time, like a really promising goalkeeper. So that's, depending on who we see, that's pretty low. Leandro Bettencourt. Pretty sure he was at Dortmund at the time, or just got removed from Dortmund afterwards. Was he ever that highly promising? Like, did he have that much promise to be number 12 on a list like this? And granted, maybe the talent pool here wasn't that great either. Jojic. Wasn't this guy that went to Dortmund as well? I remember this guy scoring on his debut for Dortmund and then nothing special afterwards. An okay player. Seemed like a nice guy. He's at Partizan now. Oh my god, Sparahino, man. He had a couple games with West Brom where he looked like he was a really promising talent. West Brom didn't sell him. And I think he's had some really unfortunate things that happened to him. He's at Charleroi? That is a really random move for him. Oh, he's playing for the Burundi national team? This is really random. He had an incredible under 21 goal scoring rate. Not really what you would expected of him when he was in the Premier League. Yusuf Poulsen? Okay, that's decent. All right, number 8. Harry Kane at number 8. Wow. I thought Kane like had his breakout season in this season. I guess this was a time where people were calling him a one-season wonder before he could prove himself. Number 8 is actually kind of low. I thought he was gonna be like number 2 or number 3. Was Kane a flash in the pan or the beginning of a great career? Well, I'm sure it's the latter now. Kaderback, the right back from Hoffenheim, I think, or wingback, I guess. Probably way too high for this list, but solid player. Domenico Berardi, yeah, I remember him. Suitable spot, played for the national team in the Euros, won the Euros. Good player for Sassuolo. Maybe hasn't reached the heights I was expected of him, but great player, honestly. Now, this is one where everyone overhyped this guy, including myself. I thought this guy was gonna be the next defender that was gonna be like good at like finding his position, you know, intercepting the ball, things like that. I think he said like he never wanted to get a yellow card or never liked getting yellow cards, which I didn't think was that bad, but it actually turned out, yeah, it's not really the right thing to do if you're a center back. You gotta be able to sacrifice yourself getting a yellow card at times. How is he still at you? Okay, he's at Cagliari on loan, or was there on loan. Victor Fischer. Yeah, I'd say that's the same boat with Rugani, I guess. Victor Fischer was very promising at Ajax, but it never worked out where he went. He went back to Denmark to Copenhagen and did fine. Nathan Redmond was number 3. What? I mean, I do think he had promise. Wow, number 3, right? Nathan Redmond. Max Meyer. I remember hearing so many things about him potentially being one of the best players of his generation. Schalke was his club. He eventually left because he didn't want to sign a new contract. I think he had bad people around him. Ended up going to Crystal Palace. Did jack all there. Where is he now? Max Meyer's a baseball player? What? And anyways, he's at FC Köln and got released, I think. Højbjerg was number 1. This was when he was at Bayern. Pep Guardiola praised him significantly at one point, I think. That's the list. You could say the predictions here ended up not going too well. I mean, Harry Kane is probably the best one out of all these lot. I mean, Ruben Neves at 38, Ter Stegen at 13. Really weird. Bernardo Silva, I can understand him being this low because I don't think he had that much hype around him at the time. But then again, it's really difficult to choose 50 top players in a tournament with 8 teams in them. At the end of the day, It was interesting looking at this, seeing what players were on here, if they were rated too low or too high, or who the hell they were, actually. At the end of the day, the article is 6-7 years old, so it really doesn't matter. Yeah, thank you for watching this. Make sure you like and subscribe, and take care.